DSP, AMC, there's so much fun data in there, right?
Yep.
But you have to act on it, or it's just fun data and you're wasting your time and you're like, okay, here's where the majority of my customers live in California. Great. And then you do nothing based on that.
Hmm.
Why did you learn that? No
Yep.
reason. If you adjust bids based on the fact that your conversion rate's higher in California, so you're bidding more in California, you used AMC data correctly.
Yeah.
Congrats. Fantastic. But it's just don't waste your time.
You can do that type of targeting in DSP, right? Target people
Yes.
by state,
Correct.
and can you do city and
Correct. Yes.
township, get
It's
that
like the
narrow?
same as Google ads. You can go by zip code. Like you can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. Like I used to run DSP ads for LA Metro and we had to just target LA County. And it was display ads within this area. There's so many options available and there's so much data available. It's just don't waste your time pulling all this data that you're not going to make changes if based on that data. Like I can pull a state by state analysis for you based on conversion rate. I'm happy to. But if you don't want to adjust budget based on whatever states are converting, then what are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
you got to make changes based on the data that you pull or you're wasting your time.
Yeah. I'm thinking about, I like to fish, right? So I could see a fishing company readily using that state by state data because certain
Oh,
baits are going to be used more or less in certain states. So you can really target those areas.
100%. And the thing is, you can use this data. It's very usable. It's just you have to use it or
Yep.
it's not, there's no sense in pulling it. Like I
Yeah.
can tell you which fish are predominantly caught in which state and what type of bait those fish like.
Hmm.
You could use that to use that bait within those states to catch those fish. Or you can just say that's a neat fact and you could just continue with whatever you're doing. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna not love the fact that I pulled that data for you if you're not gonna use that bait within those states to catch those fish. It's like the data is so valuable. It's just so many people like the data, but they don't use the data.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think of pulling data for people that is usable that they don't use. Like,
Yeah. And I think a lot of times people have good intentions, but
totally
it takes work to use that data and you actually have to initiate it. So,
does. It's just, I'm happy to pull that data, but like, let's use this data,
yeah.
right? Like, we might as well. Like, here's the example of how we can use this data. Let's do it. Otherwise, it's just data.
Yep.
And
For
that's
sure.
what AMC is. That's what Amazon Marketing Cloud is I would say 60 to 70% of people pull the data, they love it, they're so interested in it, and they make no changes.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine.
It's a tool. It's not an end all be all, it's a tool. So you pull the data, there's a lot you can do with this data, but you have to do it. And if you don't, then we might as well not pull the data. That's my whole take.
Now, the data in Amazon Marketing Cloud, is that solely data related to your ad spend, or is that overall all of Seller Central and Amazon.com
It's
platforms and
pretty much
everything?
everything, dude. Like they
Okay.
can really aggregate everything. Like DSP impressions, PPC clicks, organic, like based on brand searches. Like they can really it all depends on how you use it again. And through tech partners, it's a very usable tool, right? So like I use XMars currently, I used to use PackView, and even a dummy like me can use AMC.
Hmm.
But without a tech partner, you have to be able to run SQL queries to understand like how to pull the data. Amazon Marketing Cloud in and of itself is a developer-driven, query-driven platform. But through tech partners, you can make it easy, you can make it done for people like me.
Got it.
So it works out overall, but it's not super easy. And even when you work through a tech partner, you have to kind of know what you're looking for, I would say. So like
Okay.
AMC is a very powerful tool, but you really you need to want it and you need to know how to use it before you even tap into it because you can get access to it, you can just do nothing. And that's, I would
Yeah.
say, what most people do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. Information overload and then just lack of action.
Too much going on, and then you just don't do anything. Like I've been there a million times. Like I can do 500 things in this, and I choose to do nothing. So it's like, don't bother unless you really want to dive in and like figure out how to utilize AMC for your company's best interest. Don't touch it until you're ready.